What up, YouTube? I'm going to attempt to make this 5 to 7 minutes, but I make this video during the time of George Floyd, and I just want to start off by saying a poem that I wrote after I seen the video. Imagine George Floyd was your son, and them cops said, Floyd, your life is done, not because of a threat he posed. It was his life they chose to intentionally dispose. Public servants, is that not their task? I can't breathe, get off me, was that too much to ask? The man cried out for his mom. What if that was you? What feelings would be brewing inside of you? I'm just wondering, how could one be so quiet? The aftermath of injustice, another riot. No empty words, we will see change. We will make the system speak his name. If we can't live in peace, then it's that thought we share. How many more in this struggle must we spare? The man cried out for his mom as he was dying. I can't breathe must be the words we're crying. Until change my people, we cannot pause. We must stand united behind this cause. We must create a world where safety isn't based on skin, where the police roaming have humanity within. The struggle isn't over until we all have peace. It's not like we have another life to lease. So I want to attempt to try to make this video short. So in the city of Columbia Heights, where I live, I'm under constant attack by city employees, and these city employees are being assisted by my child's mother, which makes the situation all the more dangerous. Now, a quick breakdown of who my child's mom is. My child's mom allowed sexual abuse to happen to my children in her presence. And after I got custody of my kids, we found a conviction for a molestation, adding further substance to it. The abuse that I reported, that I said I seen, was further confirmed in a treatment center resource for recovery caught by government staff not once but twice. I didn't learn any of this until I got custody of my children. Now, after I reported what happened to my children, this is when my life became in danger, because I exposed who she was as a person, as far as the prostitution, the drug use, and everything else. Now, what I reported was also confirmed recently by her aunt when my child's mom left her Facebook page open at her house, and her aunt called me and said she should never see the kids again. She's talking about prostitution, she's talking about drug use, and she's talking about she's going to get the kids back when she sets you up, and she's not going to be homeless no more. So if you YouTube where you're at right now, RDT3927, you're going to see multiple videos. You're going to see one of these employees destroying my yard. When did they destroy my yard? After my child's mom walked into my house. So it's obvious that she walked into my house, I kick her out of my house. This is against an order for protection, and she had an active warrant for an order for protection, just walks into my house. Mind you, of a family she threatened to light on fire, burned a house down with us inside, and recently threatened to burn her aunt's house down. She just walked into my house, and after I tell her to get out of my house, these employees come and they destroy my yard. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, I'm not the smartest person, but it's common sense that she left and she called her dealer, her friend, and she said, hey, he just did this, go do something that you know is going to piss him off. So what do? They come and destroy my kid's yard. Now, please remove my language as I'm confronting him, because the audio, I did record the audio encounter between me and this employee, and I attached the video of them destroying my yard. You will also see the video of her walking into my house, and you will also see how the city of Columbia Heights treated me, because I'm reporting they're not assisting me. Now, please view the link below so you have access to the court documents, the police reports confirming that she did threaten to light my kids on fire, burned a house down with us inside, all her other erratic behavior, the fact that her family is reporting the very abuses that I'm going through, she's now doing to them. Please read that before you form your opinion and understand how wrong it was the way the police treated me, because I'm going to the Justice Department, the FBI, contacting senators Tina Smith, Amy Klobuchar, Bobby Champion, Tim Walz, because I'm sending them all these documents and voicing that they're not assisting me because these people are city employees, and because 2 times I caught the mayor being involved in this. One time was an attempted burglary to my home. The mayor is in his truck outside of my home, and the very family that's ripping up my garden is in my yard trying to find a way in my house. Now I come home and I talk to neighbors and I tell them what I seen, and they said every time you leave for college or school, this is what they do. They circle your house and try to find a way in your home. Now, would I be making this video in any sense if I felt that it was over, that it was going to stop? No, I wouldn't. Herein lies the problem. It's not going to stop. As her aunt said, as her family said, that she told her friend that she's not going to be homeless no more. When she sets you up, her number one goal is to break me, to harass me, because that is the behavior of sociopathic people. They attempt to alienate you from everybody else. They gaslight you. They do all this stuff to you so you react and you're the one that appears crazy instead of them. But the documents below are evidence of who the one who's really crazy is. Now, everybody's going through this phase, and they're going through this fear factor of what it would be like living in a society without police. Now, to me, that's not a fear, that's not something that creeps into the fear parameter in my mind, because for the past 5 years, that is exactly what I have been living with. I have been living in a society without police that aren't responding. They're not investigating any crimes. Now, I just want to quickly point out the same minivan, or the same truck that is in my yard in the presentation link that I'm going to give access to below, that is the mayor's truck, is also linked to mail theft. Now, a FedEx package, and I only say that because this is a federal matter, so I was once waiting on a package. I want to try to hurry up because I just hit 6 minutes. I was once waiting on a package, and I see the FedEx driver, and the FedEx driver stated, when I went up to him, I said, "Hey, my name is Mr. Thompson, and I'm waiting on a package, and I live in such and such address, and it's kind of hard to find because of the corner it's in." And he said, "Mr. Thompson, I know exactly where you live. Per instructions on my handheld device, I'm instructed to leave all packages in the Suburban parked in your driveway." Now, it's noteworthy to note that I just got my license in February of 2020, so for the past 5 years living in the city of Columbia Heights, I own no vehicle, nor did I have any car parked in my driveway under my consent. So what they would do is they would park their vehicle in my yard and retrieve my packages this way. Now, whose truck was it? The same truck that was seen trying to get into my house. This is the mayor's vehicle. Now, I point this out because this ain't a state matter, and I point that out because this is the reason why the city of Columbia Heights will not investigate these crimes. They won't investigate because Dave Cartwright is a lifelong friend, associate, and resident of the city where I live. He's known to them. I'm not. I've made mistakes in my life, and so basically, they're protecting their city employees. This is why this won't get investigated. If it's investigated, they know that they're going to confirm what I said is true, and they'll have to own up to the fact that Mr. Thompson has reported these crimes for the past 5 years, and none of it was investigated. What happens one time they investigate it? The one time I had multiple packages stolen, and I told them the address where the packages were, I contact the Justice Department when they decide they ain't going to investigate these crimes. So obviously the Justice Department contacts them, and they call me and they say, "Mr. Thompson, we're going to go try to retrieve one of your packages." Now, when they went to this address, it's noteworthy that I went there with a person. I'm going to leave I'm going to leave the letter that he wrote. This person worked for the Anoka County Jail and Oak Park Heights Prison. And he was with me when this person stated that I don't have none of your packages. I never got none of your packages. Now, a week later, the cops knock on his door, and the very packages he said he didn't have, he now has. Think about that. Again, this address is linked. So here, the reason I bring up that address is to go into, I suppose I got to go to another story now. So now I got to try to cap this off in another minute. So this mobile home that it went to was a mobile home I previously owned back in 2007. In 2007, my child's mom illegally signed my name on this title, selling it to the family who destroyed my yard, adding more credibility to my claims that this is the family who's assisting her. So these packages are going there, even though I haven't lived there for over a decade. Now, the person said he didn't have my packages. Now the police are knocking on his door, and now you have the package that you said you didn't receive. But here's a message to Columbia Heights that just confirms that you guys aren't investigating, because if you simply went to the DMV, you would see my signature ain't on that title. You would see her signature is. you would see who she sold it to, the same family that is destroying my yard, adding more credibility to my claims that this is the family assisting her. Then you could take into account the photos of them in my yard attempting to get into my house, the neighbor's testimony of them stating that this is what they do every time. You can take the handheld device. Yes, I took a picture of the handheld device, leave packages in the Suburban. And then you can take your knowledge of knowing that I've never owned a vehicle, nor have I allowed a truck to park there, and then you can look, well, who owns this truck? So I ask you to please contact senators, please contact everybody else. Everybody else you can. I'm going to leave links below of the people who actually know about this, who've received the documents, who keep telling me to rely on the city of Columbia Heights, where I live, to investigate these crimes. And they gave me a process that if they're not investigating, to contact the BCA, to contact the FBI, to contact the Justice Department. Well, when you contact each department, guess what each department says? That you need to rely on the city where you live. So if you if you check below on the other videos, you are going to see that I cannot rely on the city of Columbia Heights, and you're going to see the reason why. Because I'm reporting them to the Justice Department and the FBI and to the White House and everybody else. They knock on my door and they say, if you don't let me in your house right now, because I'm sending out emails to thousands of people and because I'm making videos like I'm doing right now, they threaten to take away my children. They searched my home. They treated me like I had absolutely no rights. So I fear the police. I absolutely sympathize with what is going on right now as far as the police abusing their powers, because I've witnessed for 5 years what that's like. I've witnessed not being heard. I've witnessed having my constitutional rights stepped on, my First Amendment rights of free speech. I mean, I have a right. If you're not doing your job, if you're not going to investigate, I have a right to defend my home and protect my children. That is my right. It's not a right you get to sit there and say you don't have a right to contact other people and voice that we're not doing our jobs. You haven't investigated anything that I have said. If you watch the videos, you will see how I was treated. An 8-year-old and a 12-year-old was interrogated after they went through everything they went through. They lost their mom, they lost their home, 100% lost. We lost everything. Now they enter my home and threaten my children. They had us crying in our own home, and my kids are terrified of the police now. They're thinking that they're gonna get taken away from me, the only viable parent that can raise them. They are now fearful of losing me because of the way the police treated me, because I'm reporting that they're not doing their job. So this is no longer clearly a state matter. This is an absolute federal matter, because they have shown they're not going to investigate. They have shown who they're protecting, and they refuse to own the fact that, yeah, they have dropped the ball. Yeah, you did not investigate many crimes, and that is my fear on why they are not going to investigate this, because then if they investigate it and they find out that everything I said was true, which it is, they're going to have to own the fact that for 5 years I've reported crimes that were happening and they did nothing about it. So to me, Columbia Heights aren't going to own that fact. So this is a federal investigation, and it isn't even about just wipe the mud out of your eye, Columbia Heights, and admit the fact that you didn't investigate, and let's get this to stop. I wouldn't be making this video if at any time I believed this would stop, but history repeats itself. I know from the past 5 years that it's not gonna stop, because just as last week, we've had stuff broken in our home. So had that not happened, would I be making this video? No, I wouldn't. I would have let it go a long time ago if I ever felt it was gonna stop, but it's not gonna stop. And I ask you to contact everybody below. Please, for the love of God, do not write this off as it doesn't concern me. Desmond Tutu, an apartheid activist in South Africa, once said, if you remain neutral in regards to injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. So please, I implore you to read the documents below. If the links are ever broken at any time, I will attempt to edit it. Just check back in a day or two and I'll edit it, because for some reason they're constantly getting broken. They know that if you guys see the documents confirming that what I'm saying is true as far as the fire reports, the transcripts, and everything else I mentioned, if that is attached to this video, it adds credibility to everything I'm saying, and they are very fearful of me being heard. They're content with me, as I look right now, all my tattoos, the mistakes that I've made in the past. Just me making this video, it's not credible until you add the facts behind it. So please look at the other videos. Please read the presentation below, or please read the descriptions below. And when you see the link on the presentation, it'll give you access to all the documents and other links. I really need your help. Please assist. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day.